At the start of the movie we see a man named John Murdoch, who suddenly wakes up in a bathroom, panicking, not knowing how he got there, and not even remembering his own name because his memory has been lost. Now he finds some clothes there which he puts on, and while checking the things in the room, he sees a suitcase which when he opens it, he finds a card with a photo of the place Shell Beach on it. But John didn't remember anything about that place. Then for a moment John had flashbacks of his lost memory. Meanwhile, the telephone in the bathroom starts ringing. A man on the phone tells John that his name is Dr. Scriber. He then tells John that due to a failed experiment, all his memories have been lost and now some strange-looking people, called strangers in the movie, are coming to capture John. After this John starts to leave the hotel, but then his eyes fall on a dead body, which he is very scared to see. He felt like he had killed someone. And now John comes out of his room and then he sees that the same strange-looking people are moving towards him. And seeing this John starts to leave the hotel. When he reaches the lobby he sees that everyone in the hotel is sleeping, even the lady in the elevator is sleeping, and then the clock strikes 12, after which everyone suddenly wakes up. John finds all this very strange and he immediately leaves the hotel. After some time the strangers follow John to his room and then start asking the hotel staff questions about John. Then we see John's wife Emma singing on stage. After the show ends, Emma's friend gives her a doctor's visiting card and says, "This doctor was your husband's doctor and he wants to see you soon." In the next scene Emma goes to the doctor's address to meet him, where the doctor tells her that her husband John's memory has been lost and that some bad people are also following him. And that's why if you meet John, please contact me. After this police come to the hotel to investigate the murder scene, and then we find out that there have been 6 murders in the last month, and now because John was there at this time, that's why police is considering John as a suspect. After this Emma goes to the police to file a missing person report for John, and then Inspector Frank starts asking Emma some questions about John, but Emma doesn't know much about John, so they let her go. On the other hand John is wandering around the city, scared and confused because he has no memory of who he is or where he should go. Then after a while he finds himself in front of the Shell Beach advertisement board. Now after this John climbs onto the board, but suddenly strangers appear in front of him. Meanwhile, one of the strangers attacks John directly with his telekinesis power, but John is unaffected by his attack, after which John attacks him with his tuning power, which kills that stranger on spot. After seeing this rest of the strangers and John himself was shocked. Now in the next scene we see a base of the strangers which is underground. Here we see all the strangers are worried that from where John got the power of tuning powers, and then we find out that when the strangers were experimenting on John, their experiment failed and maybe that's why John got tuning power. Now we see that John was also starting to understand that he also had some superpowers. Now slowly his memory was also returning and he remembered his home. He reaches his house and when his wife Emma returns to her house, she is shocked to see John. Then she asks John where he has been missing for the past 15 days, but John has no answer. John tells Emma that I didn't remember anything and only after checking my wallet did I find my name and address, and also your photo was in that wallet. I thought you would be my wife, that's why I came here to meet you. After this Emma tells John that you have 6 murder charges against you, which is why the police is looking for you. Now both of them are talking when the police arrive. They're looking for John, after which John runs away from there. Now after this we see that the strangers gather at their hideout for a meeting. Dr. Scriber is also there, who is the only person in the middle of the strangers, which means that Dr. Scriber is connected to the strangers. Now after that, at exactly 12 o'clock the leader of the strangers Mr. Book arrives there and then he starts the tuning process with his machine, which causes every person in the city to fall asleep for 5 minutes, yet it has no effect on John. When John notices that everyone else is asleep, he tries to wake some of them, but his efforts prove futile. In the meantime the architecture of the entire city begins to change completely. Buildings begin to disappear and new buildings start to appear in their place, and all this is done by the strangers with their tuning power. Then we see that some strangers are working with Dr. Scriber to switch people's memories and also change their locations so people will start living in this city with their new identity in the next morning. After this, we see the strangers talking among themselves, saying that while they are changing the city's architectural structure by tuning powers, they are not able to use their power efficiently. The leader of the strangers claims that this might have happened because of John, so they must capture him immediately. Now Dr. Scriber tells the leader of the strangers that he has John's memory, and if we inject that memory into any of the strangers, we will be able to catch John easily. After which John's memory is imprinted inside a stranger, which gives him all of John's information and also his memories. On the other hand, while searching for Shell Beach, John reaches the subway and asks people for directions to Shell Beach. But the strange thing is that everyone knows about Shell Beach but no one knows the way to get there. Then John takes another look at the Shell Beach greeting card he found in the hotel room. This time he notices that the name Cal Hirsch is written on it. John somehow finds out Cal's address and reaches his house. Here he finds out that Cal is his uncle, after which John starts asking him about his past. But the surprising thing is that Cal only has memories of John's childhood. Cal tells John that you grew up on Shell Beach and I have been taking care of you since your parents were killed in a fire. After that, John asks his uncle for directions to Shell Beach, but the same thing happens. He also did not know the way to Shell Beach. Now again the strangers come to Cal's house while chasing John, after which John tries to escape from there, but the strangers surround John. Just then Inspector Frank gets in his car with Emma, after which they flee from there, taking John with them. Now the inspector arrests John and starts asking about the murders, to which John tells him that he did not commit those murders and does not remember how it happened. Meanwhile, John asks the inspector if he knows the way to Shell Beach and why it is never daytime in this city, and at the same time he also shows the inspector his powers. Now seeing all these questions and the power that John has, the inspector is very surprised because he never knew the answers to all of them. After this we see that the strangers come to police station and start searching for John. They put all the officers to sleep with their powers, but they find that John has already escaped from there. On the other hand, John and Inspector are looking for Dr. Scriber and they arrest him. Then they put him in their car and drive away to Shell Beach. Now in a short time, they reach one end because the bridge that used to be there has now disappeared. After this the three decide to move forward with the boat. Now in the meantime Dr. Scriber tells them the whole truth and says that the people who are looking for you are not from this world, but they are aliens from another planet, and they call themselves the strangers. When their species was about to become extinct, they came to Earth, and then when they saw humans, they thought they could save themselves by experimenting on humans. Because the strangers do not have souls, they had to survive through the souls of humans, and that's why they slowly started studying the memories of humans. That's why they abducted some humans and kept them in their spaceship. The stolen memories of humans were quite different. Using their memories, the different times they experienced, and parts of their past, they turned their spaceship into a city, and they let humans live in it. Every night they reset the humans' memory and the city so they could see how humans would react the next day. Such experiments were conducted on humans every night, but when this experiment was performed on John, he gradually became immune to these experiments, and nothing changed in him. Not only that, he gradually gained the power of the rest strangers, that is the power of telekinesis, and he began to understand the reality of this world. Dr. Scriber further explains that he knows all this because the strangers don't reset his memory because he is the only doctor here who can imprint memories. Then John asks the doctor why it is always night in this city. Doctor explains to John that strangers are so afraid of sunlight that they can't stand it. That's why they've built a city that's always in darkness. Now in a short while these three also reach the location of Shell Beach, but there they see nothing except a Shell Beach poster on a wall, after which John and the inspector start breaking this wall, and when they look on the other side of the wall, they get shocked. Because this city is in the middle of outer space, it means that this city is in the stranger's spaceship and they can never escape from here. Meanwhile the strangers arrive and take Emma with them. Then they ask John to surrender, but then the inspector fires at a stranger, causing a fight start between them. In the meantime, the inspector is thrown out of the spaceship. Because of this he dies in seconds. Now in the next scene we see John tied to a chair. Here the entire group of strangers chant to kill him, but their leader Mr. Book comes there and says he has another plan. He calls Dr. Scriber and asks him to give John an injection that will allow John's soul to be transferred into all the strangers, but the doctors replace this injection with another one, which restores John's original memory. As his memories return, John's power grows even stronger, enabling him to break free from his captivity and launch a powerful attack on the stranger using his tuning ability, which kills many strangers. Now only Mr. Book remained. He begins fighting John and they both have nearly equal power. However, when Mr. Book attacks John with his knife, John uses his power to hurl the knife back, killing Mr. Book on the spot. After this John asks Dr. Scriber about Emma, but Scriber tells him that Emma's memory has been lost since last tuning, which makes John very sad to hear. After that John brings his powers to peak and creates an ocean around the city and restores all the buildings and bridges to their original state, and finally he rotates the city, that is in the spaceship, towards the sun's rays, which now allows day and night in this city as well. Now in the last scene, we see Emma near Shell Beach and then John comes there and asks Emma for directions to Shell Beach. Emma tells him that she also wants to go there, after which they both start walking towards Shell Beach together. With that, the movie ends here. If you like this video, please subscribe this channel.